Well, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to today's episode of Xandermonium, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm your host, Xander Gibb, and on today's show, in part one, we will be taking a sideways swipe at recent news stories with my guest co-host, the one, the only, Mr. T.P. Egar, author, writer, singer, songwriter, you name it, honorary Glaswegian. He will be joining me very soon. You can also teleprompter is broken down as it does when you're live. Okay, so you can call us with your questions on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. You can also tweet us. You can tweet me at Xander Gibb, Xandergibb. That's Xandergibb, capital X, capital G. And you can also tweet Tyhe. Tyhe's Twitter handle is TYHEPAULEGAR. That's TYHEPAULEGAR, capital T, capital P, capital E. Tweet me if you're too shy, and I will make your point for you. Oh, yes, I will. So this week was a bit of a difficult one for me, and to top it all off, my laptop died. Now, I probably had 95% of my stuff backed up, but like most people, don't back up every single time I use the computer. Now, some of the work I lost, I was able to recreate pretty easily, but some I fear not. It is lost forever. Thanks to Toshiba and its use of cheap components. So I'm in the new market for a laptop. If anyone from Samsung is listening, if you send me a laptop, I will promote it on the show. And one of the things that I want is one of these laptops that comes with backup discs and boot discs. Not discs, discs. But apparently very few companies provide them now because they can make more money selling you things when the cheap components they use to manufacture your computer fail. Now, one thing it's forced me to do is back up my work every time I do something, as I definitely won't be caught with my pants around my ankles again, technologically speaking, of course. Now, it's also my responsibility to encourage you never to buy Toshiba products, and I won't be buying them again. And you should discourage others from buying them too. Now, the artistic fervor in me made me both angry and disappointed. And I was kind of sad that I'd lost a lot of work for a brief time. And I was like, why? Why does it have to be me? Now, we have to be above all this technological loss. And like I said, ensure we have a plan for when things fall apart. Backing up is one way to be prepared for such an event. Now, this got me thinking about how I could transpose this new knowledge to other areas of my life. But I really quickly realized that, in all truth, we cannot plan for every eventuality and cannot back up things and people in life. And we have to deal with these things as they come along. Now, that being said, go back up your computer after you have listened to this show today to avoid the things I have just experienced. So if you'd like to come on this show and get on your soapbox, please email me at Xander@Xandergibb.com. That's Xander@Xandergibb.com. Now, joining me today to break down the hotter topics, the issues that really matter, is author, broadcaster, singer-songwriter, fellow Whovian, and honorary Glaswegian, the one, the only, Mr. T.P. Egar. Can you hear me, Mother?
I'm here, love. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, lass. How are you?
I'm all right, love. I've put Whippet to bed and I'm ready.
Have you put wood in tow?
I put wood in tow, Whippet's in kennel, I'm right.
Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear about? No, people probably won't get that. But did you ever hear about when Jane Fonda went to promote her workout video in Yorkshire, and she started off the session. She said, "Right, okay, hands on thighs." So they all put their hands on their eyes. That's a true story. So how has your week been, Ty? Has it been full of magnificent things?
It's been fabulous. Yes, we're getting finally with my business partner, finally getting things done. As we speak, I've got designers bidding on our logo, which is really exciting. They're all now working on designs for the logo for Broken Flowers, for our business logo, which is really cool. And I've been looking at some of the designs, and one in particular, I'm not going to say which one, obviously, in case they're listening, but one in particular I'm really excited about. As soon as I saw it, was kind of, I think that's the one. But they're still ongoing. There's a few days yet left to see, whose designs change, because we gave them all a remit and said, this is what we want. These are the sort of ground rules. This is what we want on them. This is the sort of kind of ideas for the design we want. And the specifications and certain wordings, and so basically said, knock yourselves out, and so we've let them at it. So it's going really well, and have the idea now for the sci-fi series sorted. We know where we're going. We've got the story for the first 12 episodes written down. So yes, it's been a great week.
Yeah, brilliant. Don't share too much about your sci-fi series, because there are lots of people out there who are ready to steal your ideas and sell them as their own.
No, they're getting nothing.
So let's no, definitely not. So let's go to our. I'm working on a backup computer today, and it's really not very good. So let's go to our first story. Last night was the first episode of the new series of Doctor Who, with Peter Capaldi at the helm as the 12th incarnation of the Doctor, and took on a new villain, actually not on the show, but in the form of Simon Cowell, as Doctor Who went head-to-head with the X Factor in the UK. Now, I would think that for most people it's a very simple choice, but, who am I to say? Now, the show battled it out last night in the TV ratings war with the UK talent show headed by Mr. Nasty himself. And the X Factor was hoping to lend a superstar guest performance as their secret weapon in the ratings clash. Now, I heard they were looking for Adele. Now, they called me and I wasn't available. I had things in America to deal with that I couldn't, it was a clash for me. But I am eager to find out if the Whovians ruled the day. Now, I watched it last night, and I have to admit that I had my usual reservations to the new Doctor, as I did with Matt Smith, but I'm not sure where I stand, to be honest, with regards to the new Doctor. What about you, Ty?
Well, no, I'm the same as you. I was expecting a much bigger entrance, so to speak, for Peter Capaldi, because, as I've said before, I was a little bit disappointed that we're going back to a middle-aged man, but I have said, and we can prove it, that he is a fantastic actor. So I was expecting, bigger things, which is not his fault. I thought the story was a bit lacking. It was really empty. I don't know. I was really surprised at the storyline, and I found, the fact that they had to. If you haven't seen it, by the way, put your fingers in your ears, because we don't want to ruin it, we don't want to spoil it for you.
No.
But I think the fact that they had to bring Matt Smith into it to ask you to like the new Doctor, to ask, please like the new Doctor, was a bit of a disappointment. But also the idea of him looking into the camera in a very sinister way, to say, I am the new Doctor, I'm ferocious almost, I didn't like it all either. So, but let's see, but I found the story. And it was written by Stephen Moffat as well, who I think is a superb writer. Yeah, it was written by Stephen Moffat. Writer,
I mean, it was kind of in and out, wasn't it? It was like it had you, then it didn't. It had you, then it lost you. That's kind of like certainly how I felt. But I didn't. When I think about when David Tennant left and Matt Smith took over, I was kind of like really. I was really reserved about Matt Smith taking over. Then after the first episode, I was sold. I loved him as the Doctor right away, and he brought his own magic. Now I know, as just like yourself, I'm a writer too, and I also act. but I know that 50% of it is the writing, because the writing has to be very good in order to be able to kind of like bring it to any kind of fruition. Now, we know that Peter Moffat's a good actor. We know that Peter Capaldi is a brilliant actor. Stephen Moffat, sorry, and Peter Capaldi is a brilliant actor, but I just don't know what the lack of cohesion was. Now, there was a show right after Doctor Who was shown here, like they do like an after show, and they were discussing it, and they loved it. They had no qualms, no reservations, and I was thinking maybe it's me, until I've obviously spoken to you today. I thought maybe it was me, but it's really I'm very torn.
Yeah, well, me too. But then having said that, I'm the same as you, though. When I first heard that Matt Smith was going to play Doctor Who, and I was very reserved, I was like, oh, really? I don't see that. And he became my favourite new Doctor. So,
Right.
Let's see. But I was disappointed with the story. I was expecting much more as an introduction to the new Doctor. But I suppose, as we speak, there could be Whovians, trying to find out where I live and set my flat on fire. But I don't know. I was expecting more.
Are you insured, love? That's the question.
Darling, I'm always insured. At my age, everything's insured. But I was just expecting more from... But I think I don't think he was given much in the way of opportunity as the performance either. They keep focusing on this confusion that he's regenerated, which is fair enough, obviously. I've never regenerated. Right. I'll take your word for it that it's confusing. But it was played too much, I think, that he wasn't given much of an opportunity to be the actor that he is, and I think there was too much played on that, and I just found it a bit it was lacking. There was not a lot of story there for me.
There was no confusion with none of the other Doctors when they regenerated. Like when Matt Smith, when the regeneration was Matt Smith, he was like, pulling his face, saying, "Oh, I like that. That's a bit tighter this time. This is better, and this is it." But what I don't think that the confusion really added anything. Do you?
Well, no, but David Tennant was very good. David Tennant's Doctor was confused. They have had the confusion in other Doctors before, but it was just, I think it just evolved around that while they were trying to make this very sinister story go on at the same time. And I think the two stories didn't really seem to gel very well for the purposes of the introduction of Peter Capaldi, because obviously I think as well, because the thing as well was, people were waiting for this big, they made such a huge announcement about the fact that it was going to be Peter Capaldi. I mean, it was almost Hollywood-style introduction in the UK about it. And Matt Smith was so loved as Doctor Who. And even though, the idiots gave death threats to Stephen Moffat because they didn't like the way he wrote Matt Smith out, although I thought that was a beautiful ending. It was a big deal, and I just think they let it down somehow. His entrance was let down for me. But we'll see how it goes from here. I'm sure he'll do it. I mean, he is a wonderful actor, so I'm sure he'll do it good.
But Matt Smith left, didn't he? He wasn't pushed. He decided to leave when he did.
Yeah. I don't think any Doctor's been pushed. I think they've all decided to go. Right. They've all sort of said enough is. I've gone far enough, because obviously the danger with playing that kind of character is, I suppose, the series becoming typecast, and that's a worry, which has happened to actors in the past. Basil Rathbone, many hundreds of years ago, who played the original Sherlock Holmes, found it very difficult after that character to get other roles, because nobody would see him in any other role other than Sherlock Holmes, and he was a wonderful actor.
Right.
So I think people, move before that happens.
I mean, I have to say, I'm a little bit concerned. I was a little bit worried that I was thinking last night, I was like, oh shit, maybe it's gonna, fall apart. And I really wouldn't want that for the show, because I do love the show. I really do. But I was just kind of concerned that maybe this was kind of going to happen, because I found it quite, it didn't hold my interest as much as I thought it would, because the first episode of a new Doctor is normally like a really, really strong storyline, but it was really weak, and I think that they didn't use the Victorian London or the Madam, is it Vashti? Madam
Vishnu,
can't remember what her name is, and her wife. They didn't use that storyline to its kind of to its fullest advantage. And I was a bit concerned about how they did all this with Clara's character, played by Jenna Coleman, about, she was saying, I don't recognize him, I want the old doctor back. I mean, I'm not sure what all that was about either, because it didn't, the doctor's companion normally assists with the kind of changeover. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think that role happened.
But they do, but they do mourn the passing of the old doctor, don't they? I mean, Rose, found it quite difficult. Anyway, but I think the thing with it as well is maybe as well for us, because the passing, Matt Smith leaving was so emotional and so beautiful. I think I thought that, it's maybe that they just had such, one hell of an act to follow that we were maybe expecting too much. I don't know, but I agree with you. I think the story just seems hollow somehow. But but like all the other doctors, he's got, it's a hell of an act to follow. So, but I mean, let's see what happens next week. The Daleks are back next week, aren't they? And that's usually a good platform for any doctor to stand on and take the lead from. So let's
Absolutely.
see what happens.
The other thing that I thought was I watched the last here they showed the last episode of the previous series, the one where Matt Smith's last episode, or what we thought was Matt Smith's last episode, and I got kind of choked up at the end when I saw Pond, Amy Pond.
My God!
It was just such an emotional, where she kind of like just came back because for the listeners, basically what happened was in the story that Amy Pond and her husband got trapped in time back in the 1900s in New York, and couldn't get back to the future, could they? Basically.
Well, they had, the only way they could survive, or Rory could survive, was by being thrown back by the angels, and she chose to go back with him because she chose him rather than the doctor. But the final scene is, of course, when she touches his face and he says, "Good night, Raggedy Man." And that was me finished. I think at that point sobbing because it was just beautiful.
Yeah,
it was that one tiny part. Yeah.
But I think this is testament to how good it is. I always think that how close you kind of become to the characters is a testament to how good the show is. And my favorite, really, companion before all of this was Donna Noble. And the actress who played her, Catherine Tate, is kind of like a comedian and stuff in the UK, and I really didn't think she was going to be any good at it. But the character of Donna Noble was just absolutely brilliant, and I was sad to see her go. I thought they would bring her back, and maybe her grandfather, who was played by Bernard Cribbins. I thought that they would bring them back a bit. But what I think they might try and do is, because do you remember Peter Capaldi was in the episode where Mount Vesuvius exploded? No, Pompeii it was.
Pompeii.
Oh, maybe that is Mount Vesuvius. And basically, he was in that, and the doctor saved him. But he was saying, as Peter Capaldi, as the doctor was saying, I recognize this face. I've kind of seen it before. So whether they'll link the two things in together, it remains to be seen. Joe's saying in the chat room about Amy Pond. Amy Pond was fabulous. In fact, when she first came into it, obviously she was a little child, and then like 5 minutes later, that he went back to her as an adult. But that was kind of like a little bit confusing too. But I think we grew to love her very quickly. She was very.
Well, she's also Gillian. She's also doing very well for herself in Hollywood now as well. She proved herself to be a very great, very, very talented actress. But I think the thing about his face, I wouldn't get too worried about him because he also had a role in Torchwood as well, Peter Capaldi. So, but you'll see him everywhere. He's a very, very talented actor. So you'll see him in a lot of things. But I think when he's saying I've seen this face before as well, don't forget there's the huge thread through story with with a song and the other stories that she had the book which was all spoilers and the diary going through time. She was
right.
David Tennant's doctor's wife. Sorry, Matt Smith's doctor's wife. Or was it David Tennant? It got me confused now. So there's all those interlocking stories
right.
that, through different timelines with him, because now this doctor is over 2,000 years old. Matt Smith was only 900 years old. So clearly this is a different timeline. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So they're working through different timelines. So I wouldn't get to, you just give yourself a migraine trying to work out now which timeline this is. And also, as far as I am aware, he is the doctor that's going to go looking for the Time Lords, for Gallifrey.
Right. Well, Joe, I'm sorry, Joe, I misunderstood. Joe was actually saying that Amy Pond was in it before, the actress who played her, and she was one of the seers in previous episodes.
Yeah. Oh,
hello?
yeah. Sure. Yeah. Hello. How are you? Yeah.
I thought we'd lost you. I was just checking.
No, I know. I'm here. Chris Hardwick. Well, it's Capaldi. It's Capaldi. But anyway, he pronounces it himself as Capaldi. It's Peter Capaldi or Capaldi. I think that's down to whoever's saying it. But when he's announced onto short, it's Capaldi. But he's a lovely Scottish man. But so he's a different doctor anyway. So he's 2,000. He's over 2,000 years old now. It was stated yesterday. I am over 2,000 years old. So and then now Matt Smith was only 900 years old, or 900 and something
right.
years old. So we've moved on considerably.
I just hope that they don't make it too confusing, because I think that with sci-fi it's hard enough to keep up with things sometimes anyway, because with sci-fi the rule of thumb is that there's no rule of thumb. You can with sci-fi you can make any you can blink your eyes in sci-fi and it takes you back to when you were a baby. So because there are no rules, are there? Obviously because it's in the realm of fiction. There's actually no rules to what they're trying to do. There's no boundaries.
No, and I also have it now. I've said that out loud. Actually, I've deleted the recording, but I'd like to go back. See if there's anybody listening now, call in or tell me something, because that's what he said last night. I'm over 2,000 years old, and I'm sure Matt Smith's character was only 900 years old. So that's a massive leap. So exactly. I don't know where they're going to take us with that. Right, so Joe, let us know if you got last night. When you watch it again, let us know next week, please. Because I'm sure that's what he said last night. I'm over 2,000 years old, and Matt Smith was only 900 years old. So that's a massive leap.
Joe's a little confused as well. So it's not just us, thankfully. I'm glad there was some more people that were confused. But the other thing I wanted to touch on just momentarily is that about these rumors about Jenna Coleman leaving. And she gave a statement recently, and she said, the truth is, I don't want to tell you the truth because I quite like these rumors. I think it's really interesting because suddenly people don't know what's going to happen in the series. People don't have any idea, so this speculation is quite good. People can now watch the show not knowing if I am or I am not, and that is quite exciting. So, I think in a way it's good that they don't share this. There are always rumors of this body's leaving, that body's leaving, this is happening, that's not happening, and so let's just watch this space and see. But I have to give it a few more episodes before I write it off. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I wouldn't write it off. I'm sure it'll come back. We'll end up loving him. It's just been that episode. But as I say, I think maybe it's because of it was such a wonderful ending for Matt Smith.
Right.
That we were expecting so much more, I suppose, for a beginning for Peter Capaldi.
Now, I have to ask you this: if you could choose one actor, living or dead, and maybe Joe can answer this too in the chat. If you could choose one actor, living or dead, to play the Doctor, who would it be?
Oh, good God! Are you kidding?
No, of course not.
My favourite Doctor was John Pertwee, so I have no idea to play the Doctor. Jeremy Sheffield. I really like Jeremy Sheffield as an actor, but people won't know who he is. But he's also a very sexy man.
Wasn't he in Holby City?
Yes, yeah. He's in.
Right, I know who you mean. He's very attractive.
He's in another soap now. Actually, he was when I wrote Mother's Ruin originally. I had him in my head for playing Matt Reaver, the psychologist.
Right.
So so I think he'd make a very good doctor.
Do you know the doctor that they don't really talk about very much at all, and that's Sylvester McCoy? And I was watching the show, and they listed all these doctors, and they were saying about who this was and who that was, and they forgot about Sylvester McCoy. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I love him. He was another one of my doctors. I thought he was fabulous. Yeah,
I thought he was too. He was just absolutely zany with it. But I would, this is kind of like a bit of a segue, but I would have loved to have seen Robin Williams play Doctor Who. After seeing him in some of the stuff where he's just been so zany, it would have been great to see Robin Williams as Doctor Who. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. He would have done a great job. But I mean, a bit uncontrollable though. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
It would. Yeah, I would like to direct that.
Yeah, Joe's saying she swore she'd never like anyone after Christopher Eccleston. I wasn't. I liked Eccleston, but Tennant was my. But then Matt Smith took over, and I was cool with Matt Smith. So I hope you're right, Joe. I hope we're gonna love Capaldi. And Joe says Dr. Mork.
Dr. Mork.
Yeah, this is Dr. Mork calling Orson.
Yeah, you're not getting away with that over here, I'm afraid.
What?
You'd never get away with that over here. The Whovians would have a seizure.
Yeah.
But
they're far too serious for my...
Christopher Eccleston was a lot of people's first experience. But he had the hardest job, Joe, of everybody, because he had to resurrect Doctor Who for people.
He did,
and for a whole new generation of young people. Because it went off
because it hadn't been on for like 10 years, had it? Was there a 10-year gap or something, or was it longer?
I think it was longer, but he had to make it credible for a whole new generation. So he had the hardest job, and he did an amazing job with it. So you're right, he was awesome. He did an incredible job.
Yeah, because he was the first one with Rose Tyler, wasn't he? And then David Tennant inherited Rose Tyler.
Yeah.
But I could talk about Doctor Who all day, but go on.
But Billie Piper, she did an incredible job. Billie Piper, who played Rose, she made that character.
Yeah.
She's become one of the most loved companions as well. Her and Elizabeth Sladen, who played my favourite one, which was Sarah Jane Smith, who sadly, tragically we lost to cancer last year. So
yeah, she's fabulous. I loved Sarah Jane Smith because we got a few series of the Sarah Jane mysteries too, which was great crossover. Did you see that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was amazing. But that was, at least she came back though. She went to go out in a blaze of glory because she was one of the most loved. So that it was tragic but fabulous at the same time.
Absolutely. So I want to move on a little to, we started to talk a little bit about Robin Williams, and I wanted to talk about Robin Williams with regards to the Emmys, because he's something of a regular at the Emmys. And he will be missed this year, and he received 8 nominations spread over roughly 30 years. And in June, he was in the game again in the running for an outstanding lead actor in a comedy series, bid for his sitcom comeback, The Crazy Ones. Now, I didn't get to see that. But it wasn't meant to be. Williams' attempt to garner the 9th career nomination fell short at the nomination stage in July. Even with 6 slots up for grabs in Williams' category, one more than in most of the glamour races at the Oscars and the Grammys, there wasn't enough room for the acclaimed performer and 2-time Emmy winner. Now, his bid might have been sunk the minute The Crazy Ones was canceled in May, but Williams was rated Emmy-time press coverage, and the pundits seemed reasonably optimistic that the actor who had gone from Mork and Mindy to a crowd-pleasing Oscar-winning film career was too big a name to ignore, but I'm just hoping he's remembered during the event for all of the films that he's made, which I can't see them not doing. But they sometimes do this, don't they? They ignore these big actors that die, and then they don't even mention them.
There is no way on earth that they are not going to mention Robin Williams. There's not a chance. He's going to be celebrated and remembered everywhere. They wouldn't be allowed not to. And I don't think they would want to, because, I mean, from what I've seen since his tragic passing, people just loved him everywhere, you know, and they wouldn't want to let him just sail by. So I think
right.
I'd be very surprised if there isn't a big, you know, bowing, you know, tipping of the cap to him at the ceremony. And beyond that, I mean, people haven't stopped talking about him and paying tribute to him since that terrible day. So I'd be absolutely dumbstruck if they ignore him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's too big a name to ignore. Joe just said in the chat room that they'll be doing something because Billy Crystal is doing it. Because I remember Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams often used to host the show together. Yeah. So maybe, I don't know if Whoopi's going to be doing it too. But, you know, I'm sure you're right. I really hope they remember him in some way, shape, or form. But you were saying you wanted to share something about, because you weren't on last week. Last week was the first Sunday after his passing, and you said there was something you wanted to share about that.
Because what the press have been printing, and we've talked about things before, and just these really ignorant, stupid people who had been calling him a coward and saying that, you know, that suicide is a coward's way out, and he's taken the coward's way out. And I just wanted to comment on that for people out there who really are stupid enough to believe that. They've clearly, you know, depression has clearly never touched them. Because I've heard that ignorant comment as well. You know, people have been saying, "Oh, I've been down, I've been low before, and I've never done that." If you've been, the difference between being in a low mood and depression is the difference between walking into a door and being hit by a bus, and there is no comparison.
Exactly.
And anybody who believes that it's a coward's way out is a moron, frankly. And feel free to phone in and challenge me. And it just really made me angry that people would turn on somebody who was clearly in such a terrible, terrible place.
Hello? We've lost Tyhe. I think the connection went down. But this is an ideal opportunity to actually give you the number to call us on. It's 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. Call us with your comments. Call us regarding Doctor Who or Robin Williams or any of the things that we've been talking about. I don't know what happened. There's often technological problems. Joe, can you still hear us? Joe's saying hello in the chat room. I'm just wondering if we're still going out or we're not. Yes, we can still be heard, because Blog Talk Radio are absolutely terrible sometimes. Yeah, Tyhe got cut off. Tyhe will be back very soon. Just checking to see what's going on. Maybe his computer's gone down or something. And while we do that, we're just gonna we will play you something. Here we go. This is, while we get sorted out technically, this is one of my songs, and it's called Beauty, and it goes a little bit like this.
God plays his game. 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 Loves are all the same. The
Oh, yes, indeed. That was a very bad fade. But we are back with you now. Tyhe is back on the line. And we were talking about depression and Robin Williams. So welcome back, Tyhe. Thanks to Blog Talk for the technical issues. So we were talking Robin Williams and depression, and you were in between telling us about how you felt about his death.
It was, yeah. And I got cut off there, and I was in a rant, so I shall just be saying it a little bit more calmly now. It's saying, calling suicide cowards is a really irresponsible and ignorant thing to say. And what made me angry about it and what really concerned me about it is particularly when we were talking before in the show about young people who suffer really, really terribly with depression and anger and fear about their life and what they're facing. And comments like that about people who clearly are in pain just made me really angry. So I wanted to just say something on tonight's show because, as you said, I couldn't make the show before, to say to anybody who is feeling that way, please reach out to somebody. There is somebody listening. There is somebody willing to listen. We're willing to listen, for that matter. But reach out to somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, and it is not a coward's way out. It's a terrible place to be, and it's a hell of a thing to do. And particularly the way that poor man chose to take his life is a horrible way to do it. Anyway, it's a horrible way to do it. But don't feel that everybody thinks that you're a coward or that you're doing a stupid thing. But please, reach out to somebody. Don't feel that it's the last attempt, or the last thing that you can do. It isn't. People are out there to listen. Somebody will hear you.
And you know what the worst thing about all of this was for me was that the way some celebrities reacted, and they used it as a chance to kind of get a bit of attention. And that kind of really bothers me, because ultimately I think that when you are in the public eye yourself, you should know better. And to handle this in such an undignified way, the way that some celebrities did, Shepard Smith, who's an anchor for Fox. We talked about this last week. He was saying how cowardly it was to do this when you've got 3 children. I don't think that Robin Williams came to that decision lightly. I don't think he woke up one morning and thought, oh, well, I'm highly successful and I've got lots of money. I'll just kill myself today. It's not a decision that you just come to. He must have been really desperate to actually do that. And those of us who have suffered with depression and are open and honest about suffering with depression, that pit is very deep and very dark, and it's very hard to actually get yourself out of. And there, but for the grace of God, go you or I,
Absolutely. But what concerned me more than anything was, rather than even talking, I just wanted, people were just condemning him or calling him a coward or talking about depression or saying, I think, I've been down before and I've never done it. What concerned me was nobody was really, or I couldn't see anything about, people saying, there is somebody you can talk to. There are organisations out here that will listen to you. I will listen to you. People will listen to you.
Right.
There are, reach out. Instead of people just taking these headlines saying, making accusations, or as you say, people jumping on the bandwagon. And what concerned me was just I couldn't see anything that was saying to people, we are here, we hear you, we understand your pain. Well, not understand your pain, but we understand that you are in pain. Reach out to us, we're here for you. And that's what I wanted to say. So if there's people listening tonight or today who are experiencing that pain, who think that there is no way out but down, I want them to hear what I'm saying. There are things that you can do. There are people that will hear. There is a light somewhere. You just need help to find it. But there is an alternative. So don't think that there is no way out. And that's what concerns me. And also, Go on. I just realised as well, it is, that's the wonderful thing about the internet. There might be terrible things on here and scary things on here, but also, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful place to find that kind of help and phone numbers. You don't even have to look somebody in the eye. You can just speak down a telephone. Or you'd be surprised as well how many people will listen. So, please think about that before making any kind of final decision.
Absolutely, and once again, feel free to call the show. We're here to help. 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. Or if you are in a position like that, feel free to email the show, Xander@XanderGibb.com, and we'll try and put you in touch with services in your locality that can help you. But I think I don't know. I think that it's imperative for all of us to kind of take a little bit more care to look out for those that we care about, because I always hear people say, "Oh, I had no idea he was going through that."
Yeah.
And I know they hide it well and they blame themselves, et cetera, but that shouldn't stop us from trying to see it, to look out for people a little bit more,
Absolutely. But that's the thing as well. I hope his family, that's to blame yourself as well, is we do hide it well. So I hope they don't blame themselves, because when somebody has made that decision, there is no stopping it. But it's just a case really of me. What I'm saying is to the people who are feeling that or feel like that's the only choice they have now. I just hope that they're hearing me and realizing that there is, there are alternatives. Reach out, people are there to hear.
Absolutely.
Before they make that decision, But I'm certainly not putting in that kind of pressure on family or loved ones. I know that we hide things like that very, very well. And if we don't want other people to know, we don't let them know. So it's the people who are feeling that way that I'm speaking to now.
Exactly. I totally agree. So I want to move on now, and this is kind of something that's even more pertinent after something I read about you on the internet today, Tyhe. So if you're wondering why people are dumping ice water on their heads and challenging others to do the same, watch this space. Now, the Ice Bucket Challenge, sometimes called the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, to promote awareness of the disease amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, because it's so difficult to say, and to encourage donations to the research the condition. It's gone viral throughout social media, though most people, I for one, am bloody sick to death of seeing the videos. Now, you were challenged today, weren't you, to do the ice water challenge? Are you going to do it? Are you going to make the donation? Are you going to tell them to go forth and multiply? What will TP Egar do?
I was challenged by my lovely friend Rona Fleming, yes. Today I'm going to throttle her when I see her. But, of course, I'm going to accept the challenge. Over here as well, though, they're making donations to cancer research as well. But, yes, I'm going to accept the challenge. My deadline is Tuesday. I texted a friend earlier it's Rona and her garden, so I'm going to have to go over there and do it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to set the challenge out. And I'm thinking I may well challenge a certain musical friend of ours. I haven't decided yet, because you can challenge 3 people yourself to do it, and they have 48 hours to respond.
Dare challenge me?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to challenge you. I was. It occurred to me, then I thought, no, I won't do that. But you know who I'm thinking of challenging, and 2 other people. But I'd have to
right. Your future husband are you talking about?
No, yeah. Let's just drop that, shall we? It's never. That's not going to happen. But yes, that person I'm thinking of challenging. Because as far as I'm aware, nobody has challenged him yet. Which is why I'm thinking of doing it. So
do it.
So yes, so Tuesday. So yes, people watch this space. But if I do it, yes, I will be challenging him and 2 other people. But I couldn't believe it. I thought I got away with it. I thought, it's nearly over. And then Rona, I got the video on Facebook this afternoon, and she's challenged me. So yeah, so I have no choice.
Well,
and lots of people have now seen it on. Well, I've admitted it. I have put on my Facebook page. I have been Ice Bucket challenged. Watch this space. So yeah.
Well, I actually thought I had been challenged, but I actually got it all the wrong way around. I thought it was the KFC bucket challenge, and you had to eat the full contents of the KFC bucket. But after I was halfway through eating it, I was told that was not the case. So there you go, a free advert for KFC there.
And I've got a little bit of news. I've got a little bit of news for the show, by the way. I've just been messaged here as well. No, please, God in heaven, can you imagine? Richard Attenborough has passed away at the age of 90.
Was that today?
So Richard, Yes, it's just been Facebook now on my page. So Richard Attenborough has died at the age of 90. So there you are. So that's the first of people listening on the show. Yeah.
He was the filmmaker, wasn't he? And his brother David was the wildlife guy. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. So Richard Attenborough, action director. He directed Jurassic Park for the younger people out there.
Richard Attenborough, Joe, passed away today. Yeah, that's a lot of them are going, but that 90, I mean, always people say, well, it's not a bad age to go, but any age to go is a bad age if you're the person that actually is going.
Exactly, that's what my friend Debbie always says, tell that to the person who's died. Of course, yes, you've got to 90, but I'm sure you'd quite like to get to 100, when you've got to 90. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a great shame. He was in one. A Miracle on 34th Street. I don't know if people remember that. He remade that. He played Santa.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so he's passed away sadly today at the age of 90.
Not the original, of course. The remake I remember.
No, not the remake. Yeah,
I'm not as old as you, so I don't remember the original Tyhe.
You need to get over that, love. Really.
Do you know, I had sound effects for today for the Doctor Who bit, and I tried to upload them to the damn Blog Talk site. I had, the TARDIS noise that it makes when it's moving.
Uh-huh.
I had that, and because it was an MP4, the damn Blog Talk people wouldn't let me. They don't upload MP4s, and as I can't change MP4s into MP3s, I was stuffed. But that would have been quite a nice touch to be able to play that in the background. So you are going to take the Ice Bucket Challenge, and are you going to come and report back about? Are you going to come and report back? Maybe what we should do is we should play the audio version of it on the show. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to video it, so I can send you I'll send you the file. Well, you'll have it on my page anyway, but I'll send you the file.
Yeah.
But I'll send you yes, because it will have my challenge verbally. But obviously, I'm going to tweet that certain person with the video file saying you need to watch this. I have challenged you. So there'll be no hiding.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes. Well, I would tag that person in it too on Twitter, so then they can. Yeah. Then they can see it.
What I'm going to do.
I just realized. I was just thinking how technologically I could do that, and I thought, I'll just tape it I'll just do it with my iPhone because it's got a really good recordification program on it. However, my old laptop has got no sound on it because apparently this is something that's happening with a lot of Windows machines, that it keeps rejecting the driver for the sound. So I have to get a new laptop anyway. But it's just so infuriating that when you're on Facebook and stuff and you click on a video to watch the video, you can't watch it because there's no damn sound. So I'm having to watch all the videos and stuff on my iPhone in order to be able to see them. So I think I've got to go laptop shopping tomorrow. There's no putting it off any longer. Anything but Toshiba, I think.
Well, as you know, I blatantly and shamelessly plug Samsung, so I don't care.
Yeah, this older one that I've got, this is a Samsung, and it was really good when it was new, but it's only not so good because it's old and obsolete. It's got to be about 5 years old. And what do you expect 5 years after?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Jurassic Park, bury it somewhere. Yeah. 5 years old, good God, man. Not even the radio.
But the other one, the Toshiba one was only 2 years old. So this is what I don't understand. It's even worse here than it is in England. If you're in England, you get a year's guarantee on anything, and you can take it back to the store that you bought it from. Now here, you can take it back within the first 3 months, but anything over that, you have to contact the manufacturer. I mean, how bad is that?
Oh, that's terrible. But there you go. See, the land of the free, but not the postage.
Yeah. the land of the free, apart from the consumer. If you're the consumer, then you get what you're bloody well given, and you have to kind of deal with that. But I don't like that ideology. You know, you pay for things, you pay good money for things, and I've never liked the ideology that they give just 1 year. Just 1 year's guarantee, because if what they're saying is that it should only last for 1 year. But why would you pay all that money for something to last for 1 year? You know?
Well, that's always the thing, isn't it? But then, yeah, it's more than you got from Book Baby, to be fair. But there you go.
Yeah. Let's not go into that today. But I tell you, their Book Baby are in for a shock. Joe says that's why I buy anything I can at Costco. What are you telling us that Costco will take it back up to a year after, Joe? Is that what you're saying? You get a better standard of service there, or what?
No, they have we have Costco here. Obviously, I'm a member, and they have better
deals. You have Costco in the UK too? Wow.
Yeah, of course we do. I can use my Costco card in America. I can use it anywhere.
Wow, that's brilliant. Oh, Joe says even more than a year. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they have warranties. You can extend your warranties with them and things. Anyway, I'm not doing commercials for these places. They're not selling are they selling our book? Are they selling our albums, darling? I think not.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But it just came up because we started talking about consumer issues and the fact that we shouldn't use don't buy Toshiba. I actually wish that they made it law that companies had to treat you properly, that they would fine them if they didn't, because it's all let's face it, it's all small talk. It's all kind of like there's no consumer power anymore. But I have to share this. I told you this the other day. Anytime I have a problem with a company, I talk trash about them on Twitter and Facebook. I also contact the company. Last week I got money back from my cell phone company because they had failed to provide me with the data coverage that I've been paying for. I also got money back from my cable company because the internet they were providing was substandard. So it just shows you that if you do take the time to complain, you actually get the money back. Or can if you pursue it. But I think most people just don't bother. Joe says, I took back a telephone that I had for 2 years because I hadn't used it in the first 3 months. No receipt. They were happy to do that. Yeah, wow. Indeed, wow. I don't know. I think if you find a good company, you should stick with them.
I think what you've just demonstrated, actually, Xander, is what a whingy old queen you are. But anyway. But well done, you.
How dare you? I'm exercising my rights as a consumer in the American market. Whingy old queen. Where's that bloody mute button? I'm just going to find that mute button now. Well, we are coming to bitch. Sheba. Yeah, let's talk about Sheba. We are kind of coming to the end of our time together, so this is the point where you get to plug your wares, Ty. Tell people what your book is called, where they can find it, and where you can be found on the interweb.
On the interweb. Well, for now, the book is called Mother's Ruin, Book 1 of the Reclamation Wars, and it's available on Amazon, Kindle, and you can get me on Twitter at Egar. All my information's on Xander's webpage at the minute, and in several weeks I will finally be able to give you all the details of our webpage and what we do. But for now, that's me signing off. Night-night.
All right, okay. You're going, are you?
That's it. No, I'm just, I'm still here.
Is there a glass? Is there a glass of wine with your name on it there or something?
No, actually, I'm being British. Well, so far, obviously an honorary Glaswegian, voting yes for independence of Scotland. Can I just say that? It's a cup of tea, actually.
Right.
I'm at the gym at the gym first thing in the morning. So no, there's no wine.
Yeah, who is this Jim anyway? Can you tell me?
Yeah.
I'm there myself tomorrow. I shouldn't complain. I'm there myself tomorrow to swim and to do a bit of a workout as much as I can manage. But I'll be there with my leg warmers on and my listening to Let's Get Physical on my iPhone. Let's get physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. They'll probably kick me out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we do more than 8 seconds, then we'll get hit for royalties, you know. Anyway.
I don't care. They don't listen to my show. Joe said you would pay to watch that. Maybe I should video it. That would be funny. Maybe I should video it, but maybe not. I will be, however, for the TV show. I will be getting Wade. I was going to say getting laid. Then I will be getting Wade live on air, so people will know my way, and I will be accountable to my audience for losing weight. I'm getting fit and healthy, so I can't run from it now. If I'm encouraging my audience to get fit and healthy too, so we will definitely see. But for now, Tyhe, thanks so much for joining us today. Make sure you check out Tyhe's book, Mother's Ruin, which is the first installation in the Reclamation Wars. Don't hate him too much for being bitchy with me, because we are sisters and we do kind of like roll that way. And Tyhe will be back with us very soon. So thanks a lot, and make sure you check out Tyhe's. I was going to say Tyhe's website. Wait 2 weeks to check out Tyhe's website. We'll give you all the details of that. But make sure you check out his book. So for now, thanks so much for joining us today. The one, the only, the honorary Glaswegian, Mr. T.P. Egar.
Bye. See you later.
Thanks, Tyhe. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
That was my good friend, Tyhe Paul Egar, author, writer, singer-songwriter, and everything else in between. Make sure you go check out his book. It is called Mother's Ruin, and it's the first in the Reclamation Wars series. Thanks to everybody in chat. Thanks to Joe. We will be back with you next week. I can't remember who's on with me next week. I think it's Joe Messina from The Real Side will be joining us next time. So make sure you come along and join us then. Thanks to you all for listening, and we will speak to you very soon, and I love you all. Bye-bye.